If it can be said that people live on the internet, I know I personally do, then for better or worse, Facebook practically constitutes a country all on its own. Between status updates and liking other people's cat pictures and other people liking our cat pictures and enough drama to fill a literal island, a surprising amount of our personal lives are on full display from the vantage point of our profile pages. But there are still things that we try to, keep private, try to hold back. So it may come as a surprise to you to learn that Facebook has a pretty solid guess as to what political party you belong to. No, not the people you know on Facebook, but Facebook itself. Due to recent changes in Facebook's ad blocking policy, we're now able to see what political parties they sorted us into and the types of ads that they show us because of that fact. At the end of the episode, I'm going to show you how to be able to check this for yourself, but before then, I want to take a moment to take a step back and see how all of this is even at all possible. We all know that Facebook stores a monumental amount of our personal information. And we also know, at least if we look deep down, that much of this information is self-provided. We give them our name, our email addresses, our phone numbers, our literal addresses, our date of birth, the names of our family members, our religious affiliation, our level of education. Just a few of those points would be enough to be able to take you out of the other 7 billion people on the planet. And Facebook has all of it. Not even to mention the inconceivable number of selfies we all take to help facilitate their facial recognition software. All of that information is stored for the benefit of advertisers. Most products and services tend to be tailored to particular kinds of individuals, so the people spearheading these advertising campaigns tend to focus their messages on those people who are most likely going to buy the product or service. So if you're a male, you probably won't receive many ads for pads or tampons. But if you're a woman, on the other hand, especially one who's between the ages of 13 and 50, the odds of you seeing such an ad skyrocket dramatically. Again, none of this is really a big secret. After all, Facebook is a Fortune 500 company, and likes really don't keep the lights on. But nowhere in that amalgam of information is your political identity. Sure, you can add it to your profile later, but it's extra. It's not part of the initial slew of questions that Facebook asks to be able to get a better grasp as to who you are. It's like it's different than the other things that it asks you. More sacred, perhaps. Which is kind of interesting considering that they're literally sacrosanct, right? Your religious identity is actually asked about, so I don't know what that says, but probably something. But it also doesn't ask if you're interested in coding or art or particular novelists either. So how is it that they're able to recommend classes in Python or an animation to me, or the latest novel by Stephen King, or literally that thing I looked up on Amazon like 30 minutes ago? How are they able to do that? When you travel to Amazon, for instance, the website uses cookies which track your history and preferences and then shares that information with Facebook. We also do a lot of things on Facebook through third-party applications. When I first signed up for Code Academy, for instance, I did so using my Facebook credentials. So then Facebook learned that I was interested in coding and started offering me courses in Python. I did a similar thing when I signed up for Khan Academy to take advantage of a module they had in animation. So Facebook, in turn, started recommending animation courses to me through the advertisements on my newsfeed. That's not even talking about all the things that you do on the platform itself. When I was about 13 or 14 years old, I liked the Stephen King Facebook page, so now I get recommendations for the newest Stephen King book, even when his own Facebook page is mute about it. Because Facebook knows that I'm interested in Stephen King, and so says, you might like this new release, which usually I do, but it kind of takes a little bit for that creepiness factor to go away. Just about everything you do related to or involving Facebook, from playing Candy Crush to sharing Rick and Morty memes, produces a data point that they're able to gobble up and store for future use. These points all help fill in the blanks that they don't directly ask for and can create a startlingly accurate snapshot of who you are as a person, even on a fairly intimate level. But what does Stephen King and Python have to do with my political orientation? Well, not much, admittedly, but there's a lot more on Facebook than just Candy Crush invites and novelists. There's news outlets, political organizations, politicians, pundits, and celebrities, a whole heaping bunch of stuff, right? And some of these things are highly correlated with one's political preferences. By correlated, I mean there's a general tendency. If 7 purple people like chocolate cake while 3 of them like vanilla, then it can be said that there is a correlation between being purple and liking chocolate cake. It doesn't mean that every purple person likes chocolate, and we should never assume that, but it means that something about being purple on the aggregate level plays out to liking chocolate cake. And there are ways to measure how strong these correlations are and represent them numerically. So Facebook knows the correlations between being a Democrat and liking the Huffington Post, or being a New Yorker, being college educated, or being environmentally conscious. It knows this information and can then use it to predict how we stand. Even crazier, though, is that they're not just limited to these two-way relationships. Through some advanced statistics, they can tell you how likely it is for a college-educated, HuffPo-reading, environmentally conscious New Yorker to be a Democrat. So they can account for the correlations between the correlates and model what makes a bigger impact in terms of their predictions. They can augment all of this by knowing how many people in your social networks lean Democrat, and knowing how close these individuals are to you through how often you interact. They can also see how those individuals who produce nearly identical data points as you self-identify, so they can try to match you to others who are very, very similar to you. There's a whole smorgasbord of options available to them, and you could be just about guaranteed that they use, in some way or another, all of them. I wish I could be more specific than that, but a lot of the underlying logic and mathematics are really, really intense. And it doesn't help that much of this stuff is still in a metaphorical black box, right? Facebook hasn't told us exactly how they calculate whether or not one is a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent, so we are still for want of more specifics. But you can still be pretty certain that they're using some form of correlates through some sort of weighting of your networking and your connections, or through matching you to individuals who are very, very similar to you. They use some or all of these things in combination to be able to tap into your political preferences, even if you don't explicitly share them. Alright, with that out of the way, I'm going to show you how to check what Facebook identifies you as. Once you've logged on to Facebook, go to the top right hand corner where the down arrow is. Click on Settings. This will bring you to your general account settings. From there, you click on the ads and then the bottom option, ads based on my preferences. Click on the blue button and it takes you to your interests. Go to lifestyle and culture. And then right about here, you can see how they identify you. As you can see, they identify me as a moderate, which doesn't really come off as a surprise to me, considering my positions and to what degree I emphasize particular stances. But what I'm most interested in, personally, is the fact that, they don't have any ads to show the political moderates at the moment. There's probably something to be said about how political advertising works online, but I think we're going to leave that whole can of worms to another video. I'll put the link here when I eventually get around to that. What do you guys think? How surprising is it that Facebook seems to have a pretty decent grasp on your political orientation? What are the things that you think they'll be able to suss out that you haven't explicitly told them using the information that is produced when you use their network or when you like or share things? And for those of you who went through the steps and actually checked how Facebook sorted you, how accurate were they? Were you surprised by the place that they placed you compared to where you place yourself? I mean, it seems to be pretty accurate with me, but that's just a data point of one. I'm really curious to see how accurate that algorithm actually is. Leave your answers in the comments below, or maybe just a salutations or a hello. I'm looking forward to reading all of them and to answering a few of them in next week's office hours. Links for everything and sources will be down, as always, in the doobly-doo. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.